Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As the screen loads up, go out there and grab your best denim jacket. We have ourselves a throwback race here on a Wednesday night with the Vigilante Racing League. And boy, oh boy, we took some sneak peeks at some of these trucks, and they look phenomenal. I'm not going to be able to tell you who originally drove any of these or anything like that, but
We'll help
um,
you out with that.
I got a couple guys here with me that will help with that, and let's bring those guys in. One of those would be Mr. Alan English joining me as always up here in the booth. How you doing tonight, Alan?
Good man. I'm excited about this track because they decided to bring back one of these tracks from the dead. That's we hadn't seen NASCAR racing on it here in a few years, and I don't really know why. It's an exciting track to visit and watch racing on. It's a 1 mile track that's bumpy and it's just old school. And this is the perfect track to have a little throwback competition at. So I'm glad they picked this track for tonight. I'm excited.
Yes, indeed. And down there on pit road is Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, you got everything all stocked up and ready. Did you check the expiration date on those beers you got in that cooler?
No, I brought some back from 1987.
It's got some Billy beers in there, I think.
Yeah, I didn't like the Billy beer. I got some Texas Select, stuff like that. Pearl, from back in the day. But yeah, it's super hot on the track. It's like last I checked, it was 107. Looks like it's come down to 95, so that's kind of good. Might help out. Rockingham is a 1 mile track, 200 laps. That means English. That for you in Louisiana, that's 200 miles.
Thank you for that.
Okay, do some explanation for you. One fast repair, if you get 17 incident points, and that's an iRacing deal, you will be disqualified. I don't know if we'll have any of that or not, but that's out there. 60% fuel, which will make it a little interesting, and 5 sets of tires. So you only have 5 sets of tires to go 200 miles. You think they can do it?
Well, we're going to just have to wait and find out if they can, as we can see all that info that you just read to us on the big screen. But that also brings us down to tonight's key to the race, and it's Here Comes the Bump. This track is bumpy, it's rumbly, and you know bumpers and fenders are going to be banging against each other as well. You got to prepare yourself for some crazy wild riding action here tonight.
Yeah, and you can just tell by look down the back stretch. Look at all the seam repairs and stuff that show up so nicely here. iRacing did one heck of a job when they scanned this track. They put every little bump in there, so these drivers are going to feel it for the next couple hours here.
Yeah, weren't they running like moonshine cars at this track? That's how old this track is. It's been around a while. Really cool. What I love, like you were mentioning earlier, the paint schemes. That we'll go through them. Hopefully, we'll have a chance to kind of talk about each one because everybody put their own kind of flair on maybe their old favorite throwback paint or driver. So it's going to add to the race.
And I did see a Rusty Wallace throwback scheme. I mean, he's got the track record here, which is what did I say it was? Well, it's a 2312 or something. I mean, it's
something like that, yeah.
Yes, but it's from 1994 or something.
Oh, that's when he was going at it, man. He was a fun one to watch back in the day.
As our practice session just starts to finish up here, we're going to roll right on into qualifying. And how about we take a ride here with... I don't know, who do we want to take a ride with? Let's take a ride with the 51 of Mike Adamson inside of his car so you can just see how bumpy and crazy this track is. So let's get a little bit better view of that, and you can see just how much he's going to be working this wheel, trying to put in some qualifying times here.
Looks like old Mike Waltrip kind of throwback paint. He just run that Napa machine from BEI.
That's what that looks like. Man,
You can.
They're already hitting these qualifying laps. Let's get this thing.
Yeah, that they are, and I mean it is pretty quick around here. Justin French, Mike Adamson just edging him, but here comes Jonathan Osborne putting in a great lap. So we got people putting in great laps all the way around, but you can see just the trucks bouncing up and down all over the place, even in these corners. That's going to make it really interesting if we see a lot of too wide action, especially on those older tires, how much a bump is going to send these guys up into that wall.
It's really interesting to see how much too wide we see. This track is pretty much one decent line around here. And, that's kind of the way tracks were back when this track was in its heyday. I mean, there's pretty much one good way to get around here. They didn't spray no PJ1 on it and try to make another groove or any of that stuff.
They didn't even know what that was.
No.
No, but they found a way to cheat. Sure, they had their own stick 'em on the tires or something crazy.
They used to spray Coke syrup in the pit boxes so the guys wouldn't slide through the pit box. I don't know if they still do that or not.
Probably illegal now, but that's the old days. That's what we're throwing it back to today. All the cool cheating. What they used to put fuel in the roll bars. I know that's your favorite one.
Smokey Unic kind of wrote the book on a lot of stuff. He showed up, talking about Throwback, Smokey Unic showed up to a race one time with a car that was 7/8 size. And I guess he didn't think anybody was going to notice.
Pretty inventive way of cheating, I guarantee you.
Cheating fool.
And you are not kidding, as our drivers are putting in those times. Only a few people left to actually put in one of those times, and maybe even some of them are getting one of those EOL penalties, so they might not even take to qualifying here tonight, just to make it easy to start in the back.
Just Malt running around out there with that. Who drove
Silver
that?
Fox, David Pearson.
David Pearson, because that was before Pearson went to Wood Brothers.
Yeah, that's from like 1969, I believe.
Ran that Ford. But yeah, we're going to see some great racing out here tonight. I just love the feel of this old track. All the feeling kind of nostalgic, seeing all these cool paints out.
And that they are, as we were watching Dave Hot Rod Mayberry put in a couple laps down there. John Herzig just finishing up as well. Like I said, just a couple of people that have not qualified, but I know at least 3 of them have EOLs because they did too good at the last race. So they're going to be starting out in the back. And as we kind of look forward to what we're going to have here in front of us for this race, man, is this one of those things where starting in the back, just trying to get into a rhythm is going to really help you out, you think?
I would. This is one that I'd qualify as well as I could. Try to get towards the front. It's going to be difficult to pass here. You may be able to pass some people with, attrition-wise, people that slide up into the outside wall. We're going to see a lot of that tonight, I'm sure. No safer barrier. Well, yeah, they do have a safer barrier here. At least part of the track, I think. I don't know. I have to go back and look now, but either way, you're going to have some cars damaged coming down to get fixed. So you'll make a couple spots like that, but don't count on that. You really got to try to advance your position as much as possible here. It ain't a plate track.
No, that is for sure, as qualifying has finished up. So tonight's starting grid is all set and ready to go as we get all lined up and ready. All the drivers jumping out and into their cars. Let's get a better view of that. And here we are. So let's do our official starting grid rundown here tonight. Starting us off with Mike Adamson running a very quick time, breaking down into those 23-second lap times, able to take pole position. Then you got that 81 Jonathan Osborne starting outside of him in second. The 01 of Kelly Keel is going to be starting us in third here tonight, with the 202 Justin French right beside him in fourth. The 3 of Austin Paul is going to start us in fifth, with the 7 of Russ Kilgore in sixth. John Ellis driving that 221 machine. It's going to start in 7th here tonight with Jeremiah Burke in that 753 in 8th. The 33 of Jess Vought's going to be starting up in a top 10 9th place here with the 72 Chandler Paul rounding out that top 10.
Row 6 is going to look like this. You got the 88 of Eric Klafka on the inside. On the outside of him, Dustin Really in the 37. Row 7 is going to be the 14 of John Herzig inside of the 211 of Douglas Camp. Row 8 is going to be Michael Everidge on the inside with Albert Anderson, number 2 America's driver, on the outside. And row 9 is the 91 of Rob Green on the inside. Dave Hot Rod Mabry in the 29 on the outside. 19th, starting 19th today, Russ Endicott in the 257. And rounding out your top 20, the 203 of Earl Evans.
Yeah, and some of these may be shuffled because we're going to get some ELs. Jack Dixon, Jeffrey Green. There's going to be some issues. Going to get an extra parade lap, though. That'll be good. Right now it has Timothy Pope here in 21st. Josh Bittner in the 84, 22nd. 55, Ricky Wittenberg, 23rd. 28, George Rincon, 24th. And I think those guys are going to get some EOLs. 15 to Jeffrey Green, 25th. Jack Dixon, 27th. And Robert Jordan, 28th.
That is going to round out today's field. That's, man, some of these guys already having a problem just trying to get those tires broken loose to get rolling here. I saw a couple guys kind of shoot off down into the kind of apron area. And as you said, we're going to have an extra parade lap to take that extra minute to check out these cars. But not only that, but talk about our wonderful race sponsors, D&D Racing Graphics. That's by Mr. Ricky Wittenberg. You can go check him out on Facebook or Trading Paints if you like what you see out here, because I'm sure he's put his hand in quite a few of these paints. He can paint you up something looking real nice and pretty for the next time you go out there in racing. But not only that, but he's got a little real-life business. You got Keller Williams of Johnson City, Tennessee. Give him a call at 423-444-0454 if you need a realtor in that Tennessee area or across the country, as he's got contacts pretty much everywhere. You know, especially when you're buying or selling a house, don't do it alone. Get yourself a realtor you trust.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. I agree with all that you just said, but I'm just thumbing through some of these paints, man. There are some cool ones. Albert Anderson, America's driver, and that old Wendell Scott. That blue is just looks like the Love You Blue from the Oilers. It looks so cool.
It's like the Dynaco car from Cars.
It's cool looking, I know that.
Yeah. As we get ready to take to the green flag for the first time here tonight at Rockingham. Man, this is going to be a beautiful show as that pace truck peels off down into pit road here in just a second. We're gonna have a quick little run up towards that green flag. It's up, it's ready, it's waving. Here we go. Green flag racing, first time here tonight. 2 wide down into turns 1 and 2. Side by side they go. Mike Adamson and Jonathan Osborne, as man, Mike Adamson getting a great jump there, able to single file out very quickly. Oh, as we got trucks already up into the wall. I think that was the 72 of Chandler Paul. No, excuse me, the 211 of Douglas Camp snagged that outside wall already. I think these trucks getting just a little loose on these colder tires as we're almost 3 wide back here battling.
7 hard into the outside wall.
Ooh, almost does it again there. Oh, as we got a truck breaking loose down the back straightaway, he saves it. What a great save there. I think that was the 82 of Mike Everidge. Man, oh man, talk about a heck of a save from him. He was dang near sideways across the racetrack. We got action going on all over the place here as everybody's fighting for position. Mike Adamson continues to lead. A little bit single filed out in front. Mike Adamson, Jonathan Osborne, Kelly Keel, and Justin French all nose to tail. Then you got Austin Paul here in that 3 truck having a little bit of pressure there from the 221 John Ellis right there beside him. As oh no, it's the 01.
Jimmy Spencer's around.
Oh, and hard
Jimmy
contact
Spencer.
down into the 753 of Jeremiah Burke.
Wow.
Jimmy Spencer's around. Kelly Keel's going to use his line later on. Say, Kelly Keel does never forget.
Yeah, well, that guy was an angry one in NASCAR.
Yeah, he was.
Still mad about stuff, but let's see what happened with him here. Kelly Keel.
Oh, it was a little meeting of the minds there. Both drivers wanted the same portion of that track. He in that 202 of French as they head off down into turn number 1. And Kelly trying to get as far down as possible. And unfortunately, that 202 was still there.
Well, one Dale Jr. dodged it, and the other one didn't. That's the Dale Jr. car. That 43 with the 4 covered up is one that Dale Jr. ran at a late model race years ago. They just covered up the 4 with tape so you could run the number 3. And then the other Dale Jr. tribute truck, the 753, just kind of T-boned that truck that was spinning. He didn't have anywhere to go, as you say.
Yeah, it's tough luck for Jeremiah Burke there. Got some takers down on pit road. I was noticing those bumps y'all were talking about. Man, that's the real deal. That's not easy to handle. And how hard is it going to be as the tires wear? Is it going to be? I would assume that's going to become more of an issue.
You know what they call this bumpy track in Louisiana? The perfect road. Because that's better than anything we got around here. But the Magician 48 joining us on YouTube saying the 07 is running the Earl Ross paint scheme. He is in that red cap machine. Only Canadian ever to win a cup race. And then Ashley Osborne's pulling for the 81 all the way. Let's go, Chachi Man. Release the beast.
Well, and don't forget, we do have a super fan of the race, right? So you comment,
right.
Talk to us, give us some cool insights or commentary. You're going to win some money tonight. So keep them coming, so we can put them out there and let everybody know what everybody's thinking. I think it's early. I think these guys are feeling out the track. This track looks super tough to me. And I haven't run it in probably a couple years.
Forever.
But I remember it was difficult, and those bumps aren't helping the situation. But they'll get it sorted out here.
Also, thank you, Angry Indian 89 on Twitch. You're one of our favorite people too, man. Thanks for always watching for us.
As we slowly start to get stacked back up here, only a few laps into this 200 lap race. We do have that competition yellow coming right around halfway, somewhere in that window. So that's something to keep your eye on for if strategies start to come into play here. But one person strategy who I think changed quite a bit is that 753 of Jeremiah Burke, using that fast repair bright and early.
Yeah, he pretty much had to with the T-boning that he gave the Keel in that Jimmy Spencer machine. It just plowed straight into his driver door. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be watching this restart real close. Mike Adamson, one of the top drivers in this series, right there to his outside, and that Neil Bonnet painted number 81, Jonathan Osborne, very tough competitor, good on restarts too. So this is going to be a fun one to watch.
Man, how much of that expired beer have you had, Mr. English?
None.
Oh, what's he doing? Is he acting crazy? I hadn't noticed it yet.
My words.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to you. I was looking at the news. Hopefully I can bring y'all some news later. Y'all always like my fun stories of the day. I haven't done that in a while. Probably shouldn't.
Yeah, as the lights on that pace truck are off, coming through turns 3 and 4 right now. So he's going to be making that dive here, getting out of these drivers' way to get back to green flag racing. There he goes. So side by side here once again, everybody all stacked up, and away we go. Another great restart there for that 51 of Adamson out in front, but man, Osborne staying right there with him on that outside quarter panel. really no room to drift down, as here comes Mike Adamson up and into the lane that he wants. So nose to tail, Osborne and Adamson, as Ellis and French are having a little bit of a battle, but Ellis just gets the best of him right there. Just a real quick little battle, as Jess Vaught looks to continue to improve his position. He's already up 4 spots on this day. Same thing with that 37 of Dustin Reilly.
Gotta love that, just that timeless Tide paint too, man. So many guys ran that cool Tide paint scheme. But
Daryl Waltrip, the last one to run it.
he may have been the last one to run him, or
Oh,
Whoa,
a little
French
bit of
got
contact there.
French got loosened up a little bit by a ball in the corner panel there.
Yeah, and I'm just noticing. It looks like they need to add about 600 pounds to the bed of these trucks. They're just bouncing around up on those bumps in the corners.
Yeah,
really hard to handle.
It's wicked look.
You are not kidding, as the 14 of John Herzik looks to bounce right on by that 211 of Douglas Camp, and he does. Douglas Camp now under some pressure here from the 91 of Rob Green, and it looks like Rob Green will make it on by. So Douglas Camp kind of bleeding positions here, slowly one car after another, as more and more people continue to drive right on around them.
I heard that they've got some money secured to try to redo this track and hopefully open it up for racing again. They definitely have to redo the surface on it. I mean, that just beat the splitter off of these things.
They can just put some asphalt down like they did at Atlanta to run 400 miles an hour.
Connie Goodman joining us on YouTube saying, let's go number 81 of Osborne. And Jeff Snyder saying, let's go lap traffic. Get well soon. Brian Jablonski, I guess Brian Jablonski not with us tonight due to an illness. Our thoughts are with you, buddy. Hope you get better soon.
Man, as that 37 almost snags that outside wall, as he's been too wide here with a few guys. He's now got the 2 of Albert Anderson hunting him down, trying to find his way up into this top 5.
Yeah, these guys out here, I think they know they're in for a little battle with the track, not just themselves. They're talking about it. A lot of little issues out there, just bouncing too. A lot of bouncing, man. This is something we don't normally see unless you're at like iRacing Super Speedway.
Man, you are not kidding, as that camera gets a pretty good look at that outside of the 211 of Douglas Camp, and man, he doesn't have much paint left on that outside. Oh, and he's locking up the tires going into some of these corners too.
Whoa,
He's really struggling out there.
I see the smoke. I was watching a different truck way behind him, but I still saw the smoke left over from it. So you got, coming down the backstretch into 3, you've got Bobby Allison, Aubrey James, and Jimmy Spencer fighting each other for position, it will appear.
Yeah, I need to see that, Aubrey James. Who's driving Aubrey James' car?
55.
Ricky Wittenberg. Aubrey James was the antagonist in Stroke Race, if anybody's never watched it. If you haven't watched that, you need to watch it. That's a hell of a race movie.
Surprised nobody's driving Burt Reynolds' Stroke Race Chicken Pit Special out there. Well, the 211 is around in that Marine Corps truck, but he's by himself. We won't see a yellow here probably.
And it's got a good chunk of runoff area there too. That's kind of near that entrance to pit road, as he's man, shoving it right up the racetrack. Ooh, that was a dangerous maneuver there.
Yeah, it hurt Ricky Wittenberg in the 55. He had nowhere to go. I think he's down on power now too.
Yeah, when you merge back up on the track, that's why you got that yellow, that relative box down there, really help you out, so you can see how fast guys are coming.
Hey, that 55 of Wittenberg's front end is pretty smashed in here. Man, he's going to be one of those guys as well, looking to have to use that fast repair here early. I'm pretty sure his truck's probably going to get pretty close to blowing up, even though he's just out there running by himself now.
The 01 zipped around him. Got really scary loose, but able to hang on to it. A couple of great saves so far.
They did. Oh man, this is 72 gets loose. trying to figure out a way to get around Camp, and it looks like he finally will, as Camp rides out to that outside wall, already starting to grab some people here.
Timothy Pope truck, John 316 on the side of it. Looks like might be old Davy Allison paint.
That's what I thought. I think it is.
Is that Davy Allison paint?
I believe so. Another one we lost too soon in the NASCAR series.
Helicopter's bad.
Yeah, they're pretty fun to fly around in.
I rode a few some Army cats that really enjoy their job. Let's say they're very enthusiastic about their job.
204 of Jordan is sideways on the track. I don't know if that's gonna. Well, yeah, got off the track.
And now
Well,
he's
when you
gonna rejoin it.
yeah, when you say they're enthusiastic, do they try to make you throw up? I mean,
yeah.
that's
I'm talking
yeah.
treetop level, doors open,
yeah,
sticking that thing over where you can kind of stick your hand out the
that's part of the
door
fun.
and touch the ground. Oh, that's fun. 51 really slow, and 55 is slow as well. They're having to split around. The 81 and the 51 had to split to go around those trucks.
Yeah, already seeing lap traffic start to come into play here for these leaders. Jonathan Osborne and John Ellis and Jess Vaught not leaving that back bumper of that 51, as looks like Robert Jordan decided to come down into the pits and get some things done to his truck. Maybe try to find that speed, find that rhythm out here once again, as we're now 25 laps into this 200 lap race. Got that 28 of George Rincon. He's been driving fairly solid out there. He's up 5, up to 19th. He's one of those guys that started way in the back, so he's looking pretty good and slowly moving his way up. Also got Dave Hot Rod Mayberry looking to try to continue his little bit of a hot streak he's been riding on. He's finished really well in the last few races, as he's out that front windshield watching a little bit of crazy action going on.
Yeah, the 07, Jack Dixon in that Earl Ross machine. Canadian pride right there, buddy. Up 15 spots right now. He's your biggest mover of the race so far.
Man, at what point do you think tires have to come off? 50, lap 50, or is that too soon?
Well,
Just trying to think of how they're going to split this thing into pit stop strategy.
They got 5 sets total, right? Yeah, 5 sets total. So
Yep.
4 plus the one they got on them. So they have to get 40 laps out of them if you do the math. I mean, they got to get 40 laps out of a set of tires if they're going to use them all the way up.
Ooh.
So yeah, maybe if they could stay out and try to get 50, just to save an extra set for later in the race. If they can stretch a couple of sets of tires to 50, that may give them an extra set.
That's going to be definitely something to watch here, as the 3 and the 07 went side by side for just a second there. The 07 of Jack Dixon getting that pass done on the 3 of Austin Paul, moving his way up into that top 10. Man, Jack Dixon the last couple of weeks, he's done really well at these shorter racetracks.
He's been on a tear, man. That Red Cap Ale truck is making tracks out there tonight. He's got a top 10 now.
Someone who hasn't really been making a lot of noise so far is the 84 Josh Bittner, trying to struggle his way back around and get through some of these field cars, but currently just outside of that top 20 as of right now. He's one of those guys. He came in and pitted on lap 5 there during that caution, so he might be struggling trying to find that little bit of a groove that you might try to find here.
Yeah, people that may not recognize that paint on the 84, that's J.D. McDuffie, who ran that paint in the 90s. As Josh tells us on the website there, on the Discord, he says he was one of the last great owner drivers in NASCAR. I didn't realize that. J.D. McDuffie back in the day.
That's like a history lesson tonight.
it's important to know the heritage of this sport. You know, that's why I love when they do the throwback stuff. You know, on television or like we're doing tonight, you get to learn a lot of stuff about.
Well, I mean,
these
if you don't
drivers
know
that
history,
might be too young to remember.
yeah, you don't know the history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? Or is that something different?
Well, we could stand to repeat some of the awesome history of NASCAR.
Ooh, backstretch, big crash.
Ooh, Rob Green down there. It's going to bring out the yellow. Oh, man.
A couple trucks involved in that.
What happened back there? That was nuts.
I don't know. Let's
The 01's super slow right now.
take a look back at it. So you got
Kelly
Rob.
Keel.
You got Rob Green there, snagging the outside wall. Oh no, grabbing Kelly Keel. Kelly already involved in one of those wrecks. I don't know if he's going to have a fast repair or not to get that thing fixed, because he just gets sent all the way down into that inside, kind of near that pit wall. Oh man, hard impact as drivers try to scurry on around. Man, it even looks like when they're trying to slow down, these trucks struggle to find grip here.
That is a safer barrier, but when you hit it that hard, it might as well not be. Those trucks have a lot of damage.
Especially at that angle. As we get some action coming down here on pit road, looks like just about everybody gonna be coming on down. And you know what? That's getting kind of close to that 40 mark you were thinking there, Mr. English, here on lap 36.
Yeah, because they could always stretch a little bit later on. You know, the caution is going to save them, you know, a couple of laps of bad wear. So I like 4 tires here.
I think you have to at this point. Kelly Keel still hadn't come out. I think is he trying to get a lap back? Or I would assume maybe that's the issue.
Oh, maybe as the race coming down off of pit road is going to go to Mike Adamson, with Jess Vaught having a very quick pit stop. Able to pull off the line second. John Ellis third. Jonathan Osborne fourth. Eric Klafka fifth. And Justin French in sixth. So nice little bit of slow speed racing going on down there.
Well, I'll say this too. This is one of those tracks that's very interesting to watch trucks come in and try to hit their box, and watching trucks try to come out in traffic, because some of these trucks are pitting in a curve. So there's a little bit of visibility problems there. And if you're trying to come out of your box, you may not see that guy who's whipping around the curve there. A little bit harder to see if you don't have a real life spotter talking in your ear.
Yeah, do any of these guys have real life spotters? I'm not
I
sure.
don't think any of them do. In the race tonight, I'm looking down the list. I don't see a one.
That
Kelly
does help.
Keel did have a meatball flag. Get that taken care of.
Oh yeah, he was pretty much destroyed.
Yeah, he was, and so that's 2 quick incidents there for Kelly. So, I mean, just incident point wise, he's already up to, I'm guessing, probably at least 8x. So Kelly's got to be careful, not only because, you know, he's
I count the wall hits.
yeah, not just counting also that fast repair that's being used up. Hey, he's starting to get in danger of the bye zone.
You know, these guys got an instant limit of 17x this week.
Yes, sir.
17x.
It is a shorter track. They knew, and the race directors did anticipate we were going to see a little bit more contact, so they upped the incident limit. They also upped the number of laps we run here tonight. It was originally scheduled for 150 miles, but the race admins made the decision to say, hey, these guys are running such quick laps around here. If somebody makes a mistake early, it's going to be a lot harder to get back up there and have enough time to improve on their position with this few laps. Let's go ahead and add another 50, and I think it's going to make for a lot better racing for some of these guys that may be involved in an incident or two early on in the race.
Yeah, maybe as the lights on that pace truck are off, which means we're going back to green flag race, and Mike Adamson out in front with Jess Vaught side by side. And here they go once again, green flag racing here at the Rock. You got side by side action going here, 2, maybe 3 rows deep. You got man, Jess Vaught just on that outside line really struggles to get up to speed right off on these restarts. So he's going to just fall back into line here with Mike Adamson. But behind him, you got Jonathan Osborne and John Ellis going side by side here for the entire lap and back across the line, still side by side as they swiggle and jiggle down that front straightaway.
Yeah, and then in the back here, 753 of Jeremiah Burke is trying to make a run.
Hard impact there for that Home Depot truck. The 221 of Ellis snags that outside wall quite firmly, just making sure it is rigid and there. And boy, I tell you, that wall will win every single time.
Yeah, well, there's more racing going on back here. I was watching Jeremiah Burke, 753, just kind of be super aggressive, lapping some cars, and I think he's going to continue that.
Wendell Scott trying to make a few positions here. Got real loose right there. That's the 2 of Albert Anderson out there in that Wendell Scott tribute truck.
Wow, I guessed right.
Oh, Tony Stewart got a problem up here. They're going 3 wide here.
That they are. Eric Klafka, Justin French, John Ellis. Oh man, 3 wide action going through turns 3 and 4. Still going at it. That 202 of Justin French has that 2 of Albert Anderson all over that back bumper. And right behind Anderson, you got that 88 of Eric Klafka. All of that fighting is now letting that 221 of John Ellis start to drive away from that little bit of a storm as things start to get spread out a little bit, but not up here at the front. You got Mike Adamson out there, but Jess Vaught still hanging on right there within striking distance. But really, the really hard racing going on is back here in like 10th and 11th. You got Dustin really trying to fend off Russ Kilgore while also trying to get around Mike Everidge.
Everidge all over the back end of Austin Paul here. Let's see if he tries to make a move. Not quite yet. He don't have quite enough momentum to get to his quarter panel there.
Oh, there he goes. Whoa! Talk about a run. Mike Everidge flipped some sort of turbo button switch, and he zoomed right around that 3 of Austin Paul. But, you know, I was watching while on that roof cam. You could see that truck in front of you. You're like, all right, I know he's sticking down low, but as they hit those bumps, man, they could jiggle that truck right out of line. And if you can do what Klafka did and just mash it and get that grip and stick it to it, man, you can make up a whole bunch of ground.
Yeah, he's got something figured out where he knows just the right time to get that run going and dip it inside. It was just perfect. It didn't even look like Austin Paul made a mistake. No,
as Russ Kilgore. Oh, that was
Dustin really.
And Dustin really. Oh, and we got a pile up down here at the exit of pit road.
Ooh, back her down, guys.
So we take a quick look back and see what happened here. The 37 and the 7 were actually having a quite friendly battle, leaving each other a little bit of room. Oh, that had some net code. It also had some drifty as the 7 just snags the 37. Man, Dustin really not having a night as everybody then just trying to avoid everything and slow down. Man, just pile right on up there. You got that 753 involved, the 28. Looked like the 55. Quite a few people involved in that one.
The 01 involved in another one. He's got to be close to the incident limit now. He got hit from behind and in front.
Well, sometimes there's nothing you can do out here on a short track. There's not as much space, you know.
Yeah, kind of bottlenecks right there.
just kind of get caught up.
We had quite a few people just straight toe to the pits as they were all stuck and bundled up. But, you know, that just kind of watching that towards the end of that replay, you can kind of see it. These trucks just don't slow down here. Like, you know those guys were hard on those brakes trying to get woed up as best as they could, but they're still flying in there at a good rate of speed.
Russ Kilgore and John Herzig both being shown the meatball flag. So they're going to have to come in and get damage repaired for sure.
Is that something with the racing surface, Brown? Or why do you think they're having a hard time slowing down?
Man, I don't know. It could be the racing surface. Like, you know, every time you hit one of those bumps, you know, you're losing a little bit of that traction. So that could definitely be a part of it. You know, I also don't know how these trucks react under hard braking. They may not be able to get hard on those brakes as they want to, because that'll just make them spin out and maybe even make their situation even worse.
Well, it looks like Jeremiah Burt has disconnected. I'm not sure if he was one of the ones that maybe reached that incident limit, but 753 Dale Jr. Throwback truck is gone. Oh, he's reconnected. I don't know what's going on there.
Computers, man.
But let's see. Ron Dixon says, keep that red Cat 52 on the track. Bring her from the back. And he also says that the 07 of Dixon does have a real live spotter on Friday nights at Delaware.
Well, there you go.
It always helps when you have a real live person talking in your ear as opposed to the iRacing one, which can be a little laggy now and then. And it might not tell you that gap's about to close before you.
Oh man, I mean, could you imagine
a hole that's not there anymore? You know?
Could you imagine, you know, Kevin Harvick and Kyle Busch side by side, and some iRacing spotters going clear, clear? I swear he said clear, man.
Yeah, I don't think they'd like that too much.
I don't think so.
That's why they're not very good at iRacing either. Yeah, they like the real feel and the
shots fired.
But this is about as good as you can get as a simulation, right? Something affordable. Everybody can do it. A great platform, iRacing, and great series with Vigilante Racing League.
It's a great community too. iRacers help each other out. There's groups out there to trade knowledge and racing equipment. Pretty cool. If you've never done it, try to get into it. You don't need to spend a fortune to do it, that's for sure.
Not at all. As that pace truck dives off down into pit lane, getting ready to go. Green flag racing here once again. Mike Adamson, man, he has just been a man on a mission out there in the front. Still got Just Vaught side by side with him, but like I said on that restart previous, that outside line just does not get up and go like that inside line, because here comes John Ellis looking up the inside of Mike Adamson.
Yeah, Neil Bonnet and David Pearson side by side. Wendell Scott coming up behind him quick. Not able to really make any positions there.
Albert Anderson just finding his way through this crowd of trucks. If you listen to that Vigilante Report podcast that they put on every week, him, Albert, and Josh Bittner getting that insider information, you'll know Albert was, again, not looking forward to this, as he was definitely going to have a struggle bus of a race. But look at that, already up into a top 5, up 11 spots.
Yeah, I mean, we have quite a ways to go, so I think everyone's going to have a little struggling going on tonight. Just the nature of this track and how it's hard. I don't think it wants to be tamed with the way it's shaped and all the bumps, the way these trucks perform out here. It's a handful, to say the least.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Oh, man, as trying to see who that was. I think it might have been the 28 of George Rincon. I think he got a little, no, it wasn't him. Might have been, I don't know. There was some red car doing a little bit of drifting action going through turns 1 and 2. Was it able to hang on to it?
It's hard to catch everything out here on the track. They're kind of spread out.
Yeah, I didn't catch it on mine either.
There's action kind of throughout the whole track, so we're just trying to keep up with what we can here. It's not easy.
Yes,
We're just watching it.
Here comes that 728 of Pope, looking to the inside here of Austin Paul, stealing another position away, finding his way up into a top 10. So Tim Pope just picking them off one by one, being the patient man that we know he always likes to be. You got that 221. John Ellis has Jonathan Osborne really creeping up that back bumper. Jonathan Osborne able to get around Jess Vaught. So Jess Vaught starting to lose just a little bit of ground, maybe having to fight with some of these lap cars that are starting to come up here is definitely not helping them out.
Saying enough good stuff about the 07 of Jack Dixon in that Earl Ross Red Cap Ale machine. He is making tracks up 20 spots now, sitting currently in 7th place. Interesting fact too, Jack says that the driver of that original truck in NASCAR, I think he lived about 30 minutes down the road from Dixon. That's what he said. I'll have to go back and fact check myself here.
Looked like he gained another spot there on Albert.
That he did. So Jack the Ripper Dixon living up to that name, just lining them up and picking them off.
Oh, the two of Albert Anderson got in the wall and then got back down into Everidge. A lot of door banging here, so a lot of paint missing off the inside, the left side of that number 2 tribute truck. Woo-wee.
And like I said,
very interesting podcast in the studio.
You're not kidding, but like I said, for tonight's key to the race is here comes the bump. Whether you like it or not, there's going to be a bump coming your way one way or another.
Yeah, you said that he wasn't looking forward to this race, but the two's holding his own so far. He's doing all right. Michael Everidge putting on the show out there, though, up a bunch of spots. I think he started back 15th, 16th, 15th. So currently sitting in 8th.
Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job out there. As well as that 88 of Eric Klafka. He's been running fairly solid, just outside of that top 10 right now, but you know, he's got that 3 of Austin Paul in his sights and just waiting for a good moment to pounce on that one. Josh Bittner has moved up quite a few spots now as people start to kind of make their mistakes and we get into these longer bits of runs as we're now on lap 63 here. Josh Bittner up into 13th and trying to hunt down the guys in front of him, who is Dave Hot Rod Mayberry.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's having a good run as well. Looks like it's Jess Vaught in that 33. David Pearson. Throwback paint, so he's hanging in there. I think he's just waiting for his moment.
Yeah, Chandler Paul sitting right now in 16th place in that number 772 Coke machine, Bobby Allison throwback. He said his other one got corrupted, so he had to get another Bobby Allison paint. I actually painted a bunch of those and put them on Trading Paints because I love that paint scheme, but
maybe
how
it's
many
got
of mine
yours.
don't work anymore. It probably doesn't work anymore.
What does it mean by corrupted? It just got broken?
I don't know. They changed the body of the trucks and stuff too. The paint might not fit the body anymore, so that's probably happened with most of my Bobby Allison paints.
Look at the big brains on English. I'm so happy to hear.
Man, is that
what that meant.
That 728 of Timothy Pope is taking no prisoners here now. He's been
Big
sliding.
contact. Endicott got into who was it? I think it was Really in the Tide machine.
Oh man, really? He's just got a target on his truck here tonight.
about that. Some of the new paints are not quite snapping into my brain as fast as they should.
Well, I mean, we're used to these guys driving
Yeah.
their particular paints. We know who they are, so now
And
it's
believe
kind
it or
of,
not, the font of a number can throw you off too.
yeah.
Because you're like, trying to remember.
Jeremiah Burke being a gentleman, staying high, letting everybody know. A little slower than the guys up front. Timothy Pope here.
Yeah, as I was saying there, Timothy Pope all the way up into a third place position right now, and he's on that back bumper of John Ellis in that 221, who still really hasn't let go of that bumper of Mike Adamson. So I think you can see two of the really strong guys here tonight so far, Adamson and Ellis, which Ellis has been strong just about all season long, even though he's going to hate us talking about it because, you know, good old commenter curse going on.
Yeah, I feel bad about talking about anyone. You know, I get it. We do have that effect on some of these guys, and hey, it's really not us. I think it's just maybe it's karma. I don't know.
One thing I'm starting to look at here is pit strategy, because we saw the majority of the field come in at lap 35, and then a few more guys came in at 48. Obviously, a little bit fresher tires, they could stretch it a little bit farther. But some of these guys that pitted at 35, you think we'll start seeing them come in maybe lap 75? Do you think they'll try to push it to 80 to try to kind of even things out after the early pit stop?
I mean, that makes sense to me, but I'm not out there, man. You know, we can speculate all we can, you know, all the time out here watching this thing.
Opinion.
But no, I agree with you. I think that's probably the logical thing. But there's always that outlier, you know, somebody that does something that you're like, ooh, why would he do that? And then you kind of learn after the race. And that's the fun part about watching it. We're not in here with them. We don't know what it feels like to be inside that cockpit. I know it looks like a challenge, and definitely. And then you have to throw in a strategy. There's a lot going on in there.
And you know what I love to see too right now is the 01 of Kelly Keel, so many laps down, out there in that Jimmy Spencer, Winston Noble machine, that tribute truck out there. He's out there running his butt off, he's passing some trucks, and he's not calling it a night. He thinks that he'll have a couple more guys either get out on, you know, incident points or wreck out or whatever. So he's out there doing everything he can to try to stay in this race.
Ooh, as these leaders find their way by some of those lap trucks there, man, Ellis still all over that back bumper of Adamson. You got Jess Vaught still sitting there in the fifth with Jonathan Osborne in fourth. Timothy Pope still again trying to hunt back down John Ellis. He does, and Osborne is working on trying to catch on up back to this top three as well.
George Rincon trying to stay the lucky dog guy right now, needing to maintain his position.
Yeah, this is a part of the race where I start getting a little confused on who's where and what's what, because it gets so spread out. It's hard to tell who's lapped and who's not. I know we have a scoreboard here, but sometimes it's difficult to read.
Yeah, I got to jump back to the results screen in iRacing to try to kind of verify information, make sure I'm watching the right guy. But yeah, as soon as more guys start getting past, though, you know, George is going to have to battle those guys once they get passed by the lead lap car or the leader of the races. It's a never-ending battle to try to stay the lucky dog too.
Yeah, and honestly, to me, I think I'd rather be shooting dice in Waco with a guy that had a 22 Derringer in his pocket than doing this. This seems like a tough race, and we're not even halfway through it, so they got a long way to go.
Ooh, man, hard outside wall contact there.
Oh, 204. Big. Lost a lot of speed too, didn't he?
Yeah, that he did.
Robert Jordan.
Well, he wasn't the original one I was watching, but He's the one I eventually found.
Oh, well, yeah, a lot of contact. There comes Klafka around, and the 202 of French. He rubbed the wall pretty good there.
So I mean, really, there's really not that many like tight battles for position around here. I mean, you got the top 3 all bunched up right together, but I mean, after that, there's really not much going on. As we got a couple people coming down pit road. Looks like Justin French is one of those takers.
It's about what we figured, around lap 80. Guys coming back down.
This is, I mean, I don't, with 70% fuel, I don't know. Oh, as we're going to probably get a caution here. Oh, no, and he takes out the leader.
Was that netcode? It looked like it on my screen.
Ooh,
Very jumpy
that's
looking.
going to be some controversy. That's going to take a triple look
I
there.
couldn't tell what the hell happened there.
I don't know who that was that got into that outside wall. Let's try to...
Was it in front of Adamson?
Yes,
it was.
in front of him, Camp. The 211 of Camp got sideways, kind of tagged the 15, looked like.
Yeah, into turn 1. Oh, yeah, he blinked out for a second there. The 728 of Pope just straight up lost it. I don't think he hit anything, but hard impact there for the leader, Mike Adamson.
Oh, man, 221, yep. I see it now. Right to the back of Jeff Green.
Now that's going to bring out, what is this, 3rd caution of the night?
I believe so.
So we're going to have some pit stop action going on here. A few people might be staying out to get some laps back and whatnot. But, you know, that's the other thing. You know, these caution laps go by pretty quick. Do you think you might want to sit on this one and wait until you get to that kind of midway caution point or the competition caution point?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just try to still be the last guy on the lead lap, but I'm gonna let my pit crew try to bang some of this stuff out and save these fast repairs. That's what I'd be trying to do. We're not even, what are we, 15 laps from halfway still, so.
We are, as John Ellis wins that race off of pit road from Jess Vaught, Jonathan Osborne as well, getting out there really nice. Tim Pope might have had a little bit of damage there, so he took his time coming down into the pits, but he's back out there and running still up in a top 5 right now. You got Russ Endicott up there as well, driving that 257. He's doing pretty good here, trying up, and now he comes down.
Well, Pope having another picture-perfect season in the 728 machine, and in about 15 laps or so, as mentioned, will not only be halfway through this race, but will be halfway through the season at the halfway point of this race. So 7 more races to go after this one before we can crown a champion. You guys out there in social media land, y'all watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, let us know what you guys think. You think we'll see some contenders come up there and challenge Pope, because there's some strong drivers out here, and there's a lot of them that have improved a whole bunch over the past season, or 2 seasons really, of Vigilante racing. So let us know what you think, and we'll read your comments here when y'all post to social media. And don't forget, there's going to be a super fan of the race named at the conclusion of this race tonight, so make sure you get your comments in.
And I do need to correct myself here. The competition caution will be coming out between the laps of 124 and 127. Probably set it up just for a situation just like this, where people don't get kind of stuck like, what do I do here? And just making sure everything gets all spread out and looks like it's going to be an even run. And so from here these guys should make it to the competition caution.
Ooh, Yahtzee. I think that's a great way to shake things up and add a little bit of extra strategy when you have a competition caution that's not directly in the middle of the race. So I think that's a pretty cool feature of tonight's race.
You are not kidding. As we get all stacked back up and ready to go back to green flag racing here, that 51 Mike Adamson still up kind of in that top 5, so he has not gone away yet. Look for him to make a charge here to try to get around some of these guys, but this time the green flag is being taken by John Ellis on the inside. I think this was the first time he started there on that inside line, and man, he is off and running like a rocket, able to get out in front of Jess Vaught there pretty easily. So I think that's might be one of those keys you're going to want to start on that inside line, as Jonathan Osborne as well was able to get a pretty solid restart there.
Yeah, there's been quite a few guys back here battling. I'm looking at Russ Kilgore in 21st position. Battling it out will be Justin French.
Ooh, almost contact there with that 91, but able to just stay off.
204 was in the wall for a second. I mean, these guys are having trouble. Josh Bittner's even looks like he's having a little bit of trouble back there in 8th. It's just that track, man. The bumps in the track, it just causes the truck to be thrown off just enough to, if you're not totally on your game every lap, you're going to cause an issue.
You're not kidding, as the 28 of George Rincon and the 204 of Robert Jordan went side by side there for just a second, as John Ellis, holy crap, he is out and gone. A second and a half lead over second place Jess Vaught there. He's running best lap after best lap here so far. 24:09 is the best one that he's put in, and the best of the race. So man, John Ellis really coming out here with something to prove, and he's showing that he can do it.
Maybe channeling a little bit of Tony Stewart out there in that Home Depot paint.
Tony Stewart be running over people at this point. Well, I didn't mean it in that way.
No doubt he's quick, though.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people that believe. I was never a big Tony Stewart fan, but I guarantee you, he's one of those guys. You could put him in a car right now, and he could compete with most of the guys out there. He really could. I seriously believe it.
He's a driver.
Yeah.
That's it. He can drive anything. Kind of like the number 5, Kyle Larson. You can put him anything. He could drive whatever. It's just a couple. There's people that can do that. You know.
A lot of it's natural ability, but a lot of it's just drive. You know, they just want to be better, and they'll work at it until they are. Tony Stewart, man, he's one of those guys, one of the hardest working guys out there. Owner driver type guy.
As we got side-by-side action here with Jonathan Osborne and Jess Vaught. Ooh, man, those guys were close to touching. As now there goes Timothy Pope around Vaught as well. Vaught getting just out of line a little bit, and it's going to be that easy to lose a whole bunch of spots, because now here comes Mike Adamson up the inside.
Well, I don't know if you guys hit any social media stuff while I stepped away, but the Magic Man 48 is updating us, saying the 07 of Jack Dixon did get a speeding penalty on pit road, so he got an EOL. That's why he dropped so many positions, but I mean, he's still in the top 10 right now, it looks like, so he's doing pretty good. Jeff Snyder says this is kind of a race of survival, and Peyton McGowan saying, go Josh go for the 84 of Bittner. And she also says that this is much more exciting than the paper I'm supposed to be writing. Thank you for hosting it. So thank you for watching, Peyton, as always. You're one of our biggest fans out there, and we appreciate you showing up every week.
And get back to your paper. I mean, that's more
get back to
important
your
than
paper,
this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Watch us later. You can always watch me.
Hey, I'd like to do stuff like that when I procrastinate, you know. get occupied by something else.
Try to
It is-
multitask, but it's pretty impossible.
It is an exciting race. It's very difficult to follow that. You know, kind of how everybody's spread out, and there's battles all up and down the track. It's just a matter of finding them. You know, we don't.
It's like trying to call a dirt race on a mile dirt track. It's kind of
That's not a bad analogy.
That's pretty accurate as Jonathan Osborne and Timothy Pope nose to tail. Mike Adamson trying to close in on that gap and sneak his way back up into a top 3, but as of right now, John Ellis and that 221 absolutely gone out in front. He saw that bright sunshine in his window and never looked back, trying to drive away from this field here as we're about to go on to just past halfway onto lap 100 here at Rockingham. You also still got George Rincon and Justin French battling it out back here for a top 15 spot. These guys are a lap down, but they're definitely trying to stay only that one lap down, and who knows, maybe a little strategy work, another caution here or there, and they find themselves back in there battling for some really good spots.
sunshine on the track, sunshine on my shoulders makes me happy. And Ashley Osborne saying, great racing going on today. Let's go. Going for the 81, of course, driving that Neil Bonnet tribute truck out there tonight, Jonathan Osborne. Peyton McGowan has an answer for you about going back to finish that paper she's supposed to be writing. She said no. And then Connie Goodman says, 81, keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
Osborne Nation out there supporting quite a bit tonight. Oh, one other comment from Ron Dixon. He says, it's going to be really hard to beat Pope for the championship. And I agree, it's going to be difficult, but there's some drivers out here that could do it. I really do think that, especially with the rules set up with the EOLs for the guys that finish on the podium. I think that's going to add, as intended by Jess and Lori and the folks that run this league. They added that to kind of create some parity and kind of handicap the race a little bit, if you will. So I don't think it's impossible. But yeah, I agree, Ron. It's going to be really tough.
Man, talk about insider information. Ron giving us all the goods. We got that 82 of Mike Everidge. He's got the 88 of Eric Klafka sitting right there behind him. They've been pretty much together just about all race long. Don't know if they're maybe working a little bit together, trying to manage this track as best as they can, or if that's just happens to where they are. But man, if I was Eric Klefka, I'd be kind of sick and tired of looking at that back bumper of Everidge.
Yeah, I don't know the story behind Michael Everidge's paint. Maybe we can get somebody, maybe one of y'all know out there in social media land. It's an 82 paint. It's got the number on the right side only with a Miller sponsor. And I'm looking up through the little Discord channel they created here.
Looks like Davey Allison, was it not?
Well,
Early Davey Allison?
Somebody ran the 23 Miller High Life car in the 80s. I don't know if it was that.
I'm looking at the picture he put up
Young
side by
Davey?
side. It looked like it, but
I'm
I mean,
looking at it too. I can't really tell, but yeah,
I
there's
mean,
only
it's
a
a guy with
number on one
it's a
side.
guy with a mustache. I mean,
Everybody had a mustache.
that's true.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, here I am thinking my trading paints isn't loading.
No, that's how it's really painted.
Was it? I think that's illegal. We're gonna have to fine him.
He's gonna get a suspension from Lori for only
Yeah.
having one number on his.
Next race is gonna be EOL.
Oh, I'd go to bat for him. I'd go try to fight for him.
As Jonathan Osborne lets the 728 of Timothy Pope by, I think he realizes, man, we're almost to this point. No sense fighting now. Just stay up here and keep this car clean because I'm doing pretty good. Same thing with Dave Hot Rod Mayberry. He's caught up to that back bumper of the 257 of Russell Endicott back here in a battle for 12th. Side by side they go, and Hot Rod makes a pass, trying to get his way back up into one of these top 10 spots.
So Robert Jordan started way back, pretty much dead last. Robert Jordan still on the lead lap. No, he's one lap down now. But
well, don't trust your computer now.
no,
You can never
I'm
trust
looking at
that.
the scoring deal too.
Okay.
He is a lap down, but he's up 11 spots. So he's out there just clicking off laps, trying to go as far as he can. Also probably hoping he gets a lap back.
At this point, you're gonna have to just click. I mean, let's just click them off. You know.
All right, at least you're gonna have to try. As man, Eric Klafka and Mike Everett still nose to tail. I think that gap's tightened up just a little bit, but Mike Adamson and Jess Vaught still haven't really separated either. These guys are still fighting for a top 4, top 5 spot up in the front. But yeah, John Ellis is still out there and gone. I think Tim Pope might be starting to reel him in just a tiny bit, but I mean, not enough that it's all that noticeable.
The 15 of Jeffrey Green went way up the track, came back down off of it. He's in the wall again. That Kodak, that's a throwback paint. I think it's Sterling Marlin used to run that Kodak paint.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, he's pushed up the track a couple times really hard, and we saw that impact just now. He came back down, almost hit I couldn't tell if he hit the 14 of Herdzik or not in the Jack Daniels truck, but it was close. Live, we're seeing some pretty awesome racing at this classic track out here.
No, I do love the track, and it's got some really good banking. It is almost like a mile and a half, but
almost, yeah.
Those bumps, I mean, it's only a half a mile away. Those bumps really make it a little bit different. It's just a tweener, man. Tweener track.
As the 28 of George Rincon looking to hunt down that 202 of Justin French out here, trying to sneak his way up into a top 15 as we're a little bit past halfway on lap 115. So that means we're just about 10 laps away from the opening of that pit window, or the competition yellow window, I should say, of about 3 laps. So if you're going to start getting your passes in, get them in now while they last.
Ashley Osborne saying, that's all right, 81. Keep it clean out there, Chachi. Pulling for her brother, the 81, Jonathan Osborne, sitting in 3rd right now.
Yeah, he's having a heck of a race, and I love is that his nickname, Chachi? That's from Happy
Chachi.
Days, isn't it?
Joni loves Chachi.
Oh, that was
The little spinoff they did, yep.
Happy Days, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's down low on the front stretch here. Going a little slow.
Uh-oh.
That would be the Earl Evans in the 203, just having a rough time. Looks like.
Oh, I think he just got his repairs done. So he's trying to get back out there and back up to speed. He's can make up at least 1 spot to get up to 26 here, which he's going to be able to do just like that. But he's got a whole bunch of work to do. He's down, I'd be talking 40 laps here, but hey, he's sticking it out. He's out here running.
I lost a ton of frames over on the streams. I don't know if the people out there are seeing it, but it looks like it's cleared back up now.
Oh, it's just an internet thing.
Yeah, I think it's my internet, to be honest with you.
No, I saw the same thing.
As Earl Evans in that 203 rides that outside wall again. I think he might be dealing with some steering issues still. You know, albeit you might have gotten that time damage all the way done, it doesn't make that car perfect.
Yeah, Albert Anderson sitting here in 14th had a decent run early. He's been losing a little bit of control off those bumps. I watched him hit a wall on the last lap out of turn 2 in that Wendell Scott truck. But hey, we still have a long way to go. They can get this thing straightened out. Albert, America's driver, can he can get up there and put his nose in the front. Just going to have some patience and kind of figure this track out like all these guys kind of are. This is a really rough one to drive.
Whoa! The 91 of green got off the wall, went back down into traffic. We got a couple of trucks wrecking here.
Oh no, the 07 of Jack the Ripper Dixon involved in that one as well.
Staying green.
I mean, we're right there at that window too.
That green came back down off the wall. Good job by the 07 of getting back down below the yellow.
We'll go back and watch what happened to Jack there once we get that competition yellow waving here. I know we're really just about to enter that window here on lap 123. Everybody all spaced out. I don't think we have any drag races to try to get across the line or anything like that to make up a position. Everyone's roughly where they're gonna be, but man, Timothy Pope has really brought in that back bumper of the 221 of John Ellis. He's now got that gap down to just over half a second here. Same thing with Jess Vaught. He's caught back on up to that back bumper at the 51, and here is that competition yellow.
Lori said, "Put it out."
As she threw that yellow flag for us here, let's go back and take a look at what happened here. Know that the 07 got involved somehow here with that 91. Oh, bouncing down off the track. Oh, man. Got that Kodak machine getting involved too. Jack actually did a pretty good job. He avoided a very hard impact on that inside wall.
We've seen several times tonight guys recognizing when something's about to happen and able to dodge it, alter their line, whatever they got to do to get around it. We've seen that quite a bit tonight.
As our drivers head on down into the pit lane here, and we're looking probably, one more stop from here, right around the lap 165-ish.
I would think one more stop. Kelly Keel, one more incident point, he's gone. So I think they're having fun talking about some of the hardships they're having out here, listening on scanner.
Ron Dixon saying he likes the 29, the paint of Dave Mabry. And let's see. Connie Goodman says, "Woohoo, 81, keep it up. Drive, Chachi, drive." We're going to have to start calling him Chachi.
Yeah, I love that name. But keep commenting. You could win some money just by commenting here.
Yep, that's right.
Talking to us. Keep the comments up.
Ask Ron Dixon. He won last week.
Yeah. Everybody can be a winner, but this is about money. These guys are racing for money. I think sometimes we forget to mention it. Pretty
That's
big
true.
purses here.
They got a purse every week at these races. And plus, they're racing for points. I mean, we're halfway through the season here. A lot of racing left to do over the next couple of months. So these guys are definitely going to be trying to get every point they can because every point's going to matter. This is a points league. There's no fancy, elimination stuff going on. This is a points league. It's straight up. Here's what the rules are. So it'll be interesting to see. We've seen consistency matter a lot. Guys that can just run well every week and show up every week to score some points. These guys got a couple of drop weeks. I'm not sure if this did or not.
It's either one or two.
One or two.
And of course, now I've just found out exactly which slide I'm now missing on my little overlay thing that I had to rebuild. And that would be the current standings. But what I do know for a fact is it's a 20-point gap from Timothy Pope in the lead to Chess Vaught, who is currently in second.
Oh.
but from second to I think it's like 12th or 13th or something like that is like 17 points. So I mean, it is anybody's ball game still.
Earl Evans said, sorry guys, I had to eat, I was hungry. And Jeff Snyder says, let somebody else win, Pope. For crying out loud.
That's not going to happen. He's
No.
definitely going to try not to let that happen.
Well, Jess fought.
Goes away. Oh, he's gone.
Yep, Kelly is DQ'd, and so is Jeffrey Green in the 15. That just popped up on my screen. Jeffrey Green also hit the incident limit and is gone.
Well, hopefully Albert is okay. I think he is.
Yeah, he didn't have much damage. He's still got some residual
Oh
damage.
no! Oh,
What happened?
that is absolute heartbreak there. They were going 3 wide, but you could see Kelly there. He was just trying to stay out of the way and stay as high as he can. I need a top-down view of this to see if my assumption is correct. Oh, that is rude. That is just
What?
rude.
Ooh, we're going to have a fight? Was there a fight involved?
No, there was a little bit of netcode along with the wiggling, and I mean, it just sent that 2 of Anderson straight up into Kelly.
With Dave Hot Rod Mayberry there?
Hot Rod get into him?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just barely touched him. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, 3 wide, it's hard not to there. But that Jimmy Spencer 0-1 Kelly kill machine.
Well, they just bominosed him. Kind of like NASCAR's trying to get rid of Jimmy Spencer. They've been trying to get rid of that guy for years. They just did it here on iRacing.
Well, was it Speed Vision? Speed Channel used to have him on.
Yeah. Well, he's still good. He's still angry. I hope Kelly
he's still
Keel's not
mad
angry.
about all kinds of stuff from 20 years ago with Kurt.
Yeah, or whoever.
Or
Yeah.
the list is pretty in.
Yeah, I do. I love the Kurt Busch stuff because everybody hates him, don't they? Oh, I mean, most people.
I never hated him.
What?
Well, I
Kurt-
just don't. Never liked him.
What?
Not Kurt. Kyle. I'm
Yeah, I was
thinking
gonna.
Kyle.
I was gonna say
you're thinking
Kurt's
Yeah.
Kurt's just one of those.
Yeah,
kinda
Kurt's
guys.
cool. Kyle's the one that everybody hates. Not me though. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Just saying.
Well, it's heartbreaking just to get out on incident points, but there's a reason that's there, and I wouldn't have thought Kelly Kill would be one of the guys that would be out on incident points tonight. But maybe it was a little bit of some guys had a little bit of flashback when they saw that Winston No Bull truck. They're like, "Oh man, that's that guy."
Tag him.
Wham!
Tag him. Hit him. We hate Jimmy Spencer. He talks too much smack. Maybe next time we'll get another throwback paint, Kelly. Try somebody worse.
Kelly was on one of those tears for the last 2 or 3 weeks where he was getting very good finishes, and just tonight, not his night. But I mean, same thing can be said because I think he said Jeff Green in that 15. He also got Das Boot, so couple guys that were looking to have a little bit better of a chance here today, just not going their way.
Josh Bittner up 13 spots, sitting in 9th right now. You know he's happy about that. He's right there with Jack Dixon, and Jack and Josh will be starting side by side in row 5 when we get back going here.
Yes,
Yahtzee.
that they will. But the thing I'm going to watch here, because we have seen that inside line get a much better restart every single time than that outside. So this time we got Jonathan Osborne on the outside with Timothy Pope sitting in that third bird's eye seat, So
Catbird seat, yeah.
Osborne from the get-go was able to get out in front. Let's see if Timothy kind of repays the favor here as we get ready to go back to green flag racing with John Ellis out in front. Off and running we go. Osborne giving it all at as he can here. He is going to be able to hold off Pope, so a great job for Osborne there on that outside line for a restart as John Ellis continues his little dominating performance that he's got going on here. Same thing with that 51 of Mike Adamson, still currently sitting back there in 5th, looking to improve upon his position here in the final 65 laps of this race. As we got a battle going on between George and Albert back here in 15th.
Yeah, and the 257 of Russ Endicott had a little bit of a slow start on the restart there, but his buddy right behind him in the 2 was not going to run him over. And now it looks like the 2 of Anderson's going to go low on George here. Let's see if he can get a nose in. Endicott is into the Bobby Allison tribute truck of Chandler Paul, and Chandler Paul's going to lose a lot of spots.
Yeah, man, that got dicey really quick. You had trucks running all over the place down that front straightaway. Thankfully able to get it all settled out here as John Ellis again sets fastest lap after fastest lap. Jonathan Osborne threw one in there, but it was just immediately broken.
It off. I was watching that too. 100th of a second difference. But yeah, both of those guys super fast out front right now.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see John Ellis break that 23-second barrier, and there it is. He gets down in under that 24-second mark and into those 23s. John Ellis is just in a totally different time zone here tonight.
We're almost into Rusty Wallace Cup car record speeds here at Rockingham as Derek Welch is joining us over on the Facebook page saying, "What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us, Derek. Good to see you run last night. Wish you had a little bit better finish last night, bud, but can't look backwards, you got to look forwards." Oh, Endicott and George McCone. Ooh, a little bit of close contact there, and then the 2 and the 28. These guys are battling back here. They're not giving an inch.
Yeah, that's for 14, 15, and 16 right there.
And there they go, 2 wide once again. The 28. Just sliding up in front of that 257 of Endicott, and that's going to allow that 2 of Albert Anderson to drive right on through as well. But we were also watching there a little battle going on between that 204 of Robert Jordan and the 55 Ricky Wittenberg. Ricky still trying to fight back from kind of that early little mess that he found himself caught up in. Got no fault on his own here. There's nowhere he could have went, as he's trying to climb his way back up this leaderboard somehow.
Cheer for Aubrey James out there. You can't really cheer for the villain, can you? But we'll cheer for Ricky any day of the week. He supports this league so much with D&D Race Graphics. If you need a truck painted, a car painted in iRacing, whatever you need, he can do it all. Look him up on Facebook, D&D Race Graphics, and graphics is spelled with F-I-X at the end. Also, Pam and Ricky Wittenberg, Ledical Property Group, LLC, over on Facebook. If you need real estate services anywhere in the country, give Ricky a call. I know, Alan, you've got that number queued up somewhere, but you can give him a call on the phone, send him a message on Facebook, get a hold of him however you can, and he'll get you matched up with a realtor in your area that fits your needs. So this guy knows what he's doing.
That it is, and that phone number is 423-444-0454.
Yeah, does anybody use the phone anymore? They're just texting people and getting on the FaceTime and all that stuff. But yeah, check him out.
Derek Welch has a question. I think this is for you, Adam. He says, "Is there any fights yet?"
No, hell no. There ain't been a fight yet. Unlike last night's race.
I mean, it's Rockingham. We've seen a lot.
Yeah, but these guys are nice to each other. They don't tend to get in too many fights. Maybe by the end of this thing, we'll see something.
Well, What I doubt we'll see any rage quits like we did yesterday. We did see a little bit of that. As Connie Goodman with a couple more comments pulled for the 81, Ashley Osborne as well, and Afton Games 49. They're all pulling for Chachi. The 81 Neil Bonnet painted machine of Jonathan Osborne out there.
Hey, he's
Red and white 81.
He's currently running in second, just a second behind John Ellis. But at a short track like this, that 1 second, that's a big time gap as these guys run through their kind of laps here on lap 147 of 200. So we're about, I'd call it 15 or so laps away from seeing our final pit stops, I think.
I think it was a good call by the admins to add some extra laps here tonight. As we look at the clock here, it's only 20 past the hour here.
It's not good for my liver.
Well, it's called a throwback race for the paints and the track.
Oh, no, I went with the old whiskey.
Throw back more drinks. I mean,
I just thought it meant throwback to like some old whiskey they had in the olden days, you know? Evan Williams.
Throw back more shots? No, that's not what it means.
Oh, well, I didn't get the memo. Brown, you're going to have to work on that to let us know that that's not what that means.
Well, at the same time, during this, you got the 07 of Jack Dixon and the 84 of Josh Bittner having a little bit of a battle here for 8th and 9th. Right now, Jack the Ripper Dixon being able to just get the best of Bittner here.
Well, we don't have an HR department, really. I don't know who's going to have to type that.
Yeah, we probably need one with me. I've already been.
Well, I think I have a typewriter or a word processor.
Yeah, just start making notes when I get in trouble.
Start
Josh,
a file on you.
I've already got one, trust me. Josh Bittner is he's clicking the laps off and doing it really clean. He looks pretty smooth out there for sitting in 9th place. Looks like he's gaining a little bit on Jack Dixon at the moment.
Well, he's got a pretty clean truck. A lot of these guys still do. I know Anderson used at least one fast repair. I'm not sure how many of these guys out here still have fast repairs in their back pocket. But, you know, that's going to come in handy here towards the end of this. These guys probably looking to make their last pit stop. What did you guys say about lap 165 maybe?
Yeah, right around there. So coming up on almost 10 laps to that point, as we got Jonathan Osborne with a little bit of pressure here coming from that 728 of Timothy Pope. Tim knows that if he wants to start to make up any of this ground, he has to start doing it now, and that also means he needs to make that clean pass on Osborne very quickly. He can't battle him too hard, otherwise they're both just going to lose even more time to Ellis.
Ashley Osborne over on the YouTube once again saying, gotta love all these great paint schemes, commentary on the spot like always. Thank you, Ashley. I'm blushing. You can't see it. I don't have my webcam up yet. And then Afton Game saying, let's go. First place, Chachi, with some checkered flag emojis.
It's definitely
Jonathan's
not going to be for
have his hands full here in a minute.
It won't be because of a lack of trying. That is for sure. As the 3 of Austin Paul made a move on that 82 of Mike Everidge, moving him up into 9th and Mike down into 10th. So also you got Chandler Paul trying to make his way up through this field as well. He's got, 11, maybe 12 seconds to try to make up to Mike Everidge to get up into that top 10 spot, but hey, you never know. I mean, we still have that 51 of Mike Adamson and the 33 of Just Fought as well having a battle. These guys, when they kind of figured out their situation and all that, they've been right next to each other just about all race long as well.
Adamson's still sitting there solid in 4th. Great race for him. Fought in 5th right behind him. Klafka solidly in 6th right now. But Jack Dixon, I can't say enough about our Canadian buddy. He's been on a tear and staying safe. Whoa! Was that the 91 Rob Green off the outside wall? Ricky Whitberg saying on the radio that he thinks he blew up.
Lost his engine, yeah, he did. Unfortunate. He's had a rough night, man. We normally see Ricky definitely in the top 10, so.
91 immediately disconnected.
Oh, I wonder if the 91
he got disqualified, I would imagine, would be my guess. From the incident points or no?
I did not see that. He did manually disconnect. Ricky get a lot of damage from that? I know he's been he's had a bunch of damage tonight.
Man, it's tough to say, and you know, I didn't really have anything here to see what happened with these two. Let's see if we can't rewind it from here to see what happened with poor Ricky Wittenberg having a really rough race here.
Well, the 91 got into the outside wall, came down, was in the middle. Ricky Wittenberg was on the low side of the 28, had nowhere to go, and hit the 91. And the 91 hit after he bounced off the outside wall, Ricky Wittenberg hit him, and then he hit the inside wall. So.
Oh, yeah, and it was for that 91. That was an immediate disconnection, probably for the incident point there. I mean, he had the 2X for the wall, the 4X for the really nowhere to go for Ricky, and that's that was it. And the problem for Ricky is I think he also might have used his fast repair already, and I think these guys only get the one. So Ricky, depending on how bad that damage is, Ricky's night might also be over.
Yeah, he's had a couple deals, so. Well, 33 of Russ Endicott. I mean, Just Vaught is getting around a 257 of Russ Endicott. Slowed him down to stay away from Mike Adamson. Just for a moment, kind of slowed him down, getting in the way. Lap traffic is an issue at a track like this. And Russ wouldn't do anything, you know, he shouldn't have been doing it. Just lap traffic causes issues. It doesn't look like Just Vaught's too worried about it. He's starting to catch back up to Mike Adamson there.
Well, you know, look at Dustin Reilly out here, which is not a guy we usually see struggling and being laps down. But he's one of those guys that's staying high, trying to stay out of the way of the leaders and let him by as best he can. But when you've got guys that are too wide coming up behind you, it kind of puts you in a bad spot. 3 wide at Rockingham is, as we've seen, is no picnic.
Well, anything here at Rockingham seems like no picnic, to be honest with you. Ooh, looks like Mike Adamson just swooped down into the pits without letting anybody know.
Well,
so that might be his strategy.
There it is, right around that lap 165 mark. Here comes Mike Adamson trying to maybe short pit these tires, as Timothy Pope was all over that back bumper of John Ellis. So John Ellis seeing Mike coming down in, he's going to say, I'm not going to wait out here any longer. I'm going to come down in and get back to running, you know, those 23-second lap times. And here goes Timothy Pope away with the lead for right now.
Well, and Pope, nope, I misspoke.
That's normal.
I was going to say, I think he had a couple laps difference, but no. He pitted the same lap everybody else did. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong numbers. And then Afton Games 49 joining us on YouTube saying, this is like a comedy and a race at the same time with the commentary.
Who said that?
Afton Games 49.
Oh, well, what's funnier? The race or us? I'm confused at this point. We do try to have fun. I mean, we do our best. It's not everybody's style, but
True that.
When the races get kind of strung out a little bit, it's difficult to kind of keep up with everything that's going on. We do try to touch on all the racing. It's just sometimes it's hard.
Dustin really is like 9 laps down, I think, and the 202 of French is battling, trying to pass him. Just because he's staying up high doesn't mean he's just letting folks go. Really, in that 37 Tide machine.
Well, he's a driver. Yeah, he's a driver. He's not gonna.
He's a street stock guy, I think.
Yeah, Earl Evans is down to pit. Looks like Jack Dixon, Austin Paul coming out. Jess Spott's coming in. A lot of action down here on pit road.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But the other thing that's gonna be kind of concerning to note here is, that 728 of Pope still staying out. He's running 25.5s. That is almost, a second and a half slower than what some of these guys on the fresher tires are going to be doing. As he comes in now, so let's see if Klafka will take the lead and get some lap sled here tonight in that 88 machine. Man, Klafka, he's been we've been sneaking in on him, having little races here and there, but he's been very solid all race long here at Rockingham.
Yeah, if he can at least get out there and lead a lap and then come back down, I mean, mission accomplished right there. You just scored yourself an extra point, which you can use later on in the season.
Yeah, that he can. He's got the 221 of John Ellis right now, trying to get his lap back the hard way without the pit cycle. He's going to look to the left, look to the right, finally look to that outside, and there he goes, down and back around. So John Ellis back onto that lead lap just as Eric Klafka coming down into those pits. So gonna see how everything cycles all the way around. I think we just have a couple more drivers that need to pit. George Rincon and Russ Kilgore still need to come down at some point for their final one.
Man.
Same thing with the 37 of Dustin Reilly.
Osborne itching to get around these trucks. It's hard to hold yourself back, when you're so much faster than the truck in front of you on a different set of tires. And man, you can see him lifting big time, trying not to get into somebody, but went around the 14 and the 72. Osborne on the move once again.
Yeah, and we got some guys with cold tires too. Anderson lost a little bit in that 02 Wendell Scott machine. He held it, but it got a little slippery on him on the backstretch. This is where it gets a little hairy, in and out, the in and out pit stuff. The cycle makes it kind of fun, with the green flag pit stop.
As the 257 of Russ Endicott was kind of playing blocker there just a little bit, trying to slow, not on purpose, slow up Timothy Pope there. To allow Jess Vaught maybe a chance to try to squeeze on by, but Timothy Pope back there in third with 25 laps now remaining. He's got 4.5 seconds to try to make it up to get to John Ellis out in front. He's got about a second and almost 2 seconds, I'll say, up to Mike Adamson there in second.
Check out old J.D. McDuffie out there, the 84, Josh Bittner. Making a pass on a lap truck of Bobby Allison, trying to catch up to one of the other trucks up here. It's a couple laps down. The Wendell Scott tribute truck of Albert Anderson.
And you keep naming off these old drivers. I think I'm in the middle of a real NASCAR race here.
I love Throwback.
Start getting confused. Is it 1985 or are we in 2022?
1978 or
69. I mean, there's some throwback paints that are really cool.
69 throwback paints. Wendell Scott, that 34 that 34 car that he ran, that was in the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah, some great history behind that driver. A lot of cool paints, man, and I'm glad they do a throwback with this league because it makes it interesting. It's definitely harder for us watching, right? Because we're used to seeing these guys in different trucks, but it is worth it. I love it.
So, Afton Games 49, that's Ashley Osborne's son, who is Chachi's nephew. So,
All right, it's all coming together.
Uncle Chachi's got the whole family out there for him tonight, including Connie Goodman.
Well, he's
and Eric Warman's out there watching us saying, "Go Triple A."
oh man,
Eric Warman for joining us out there tonight.
fans everywhere.
Oh, as we got some side-by-side action up here towards the front, the 728 of Pope makes us move on that 51 of Mike Adamson. He was able to reel him in and get around him. So now Timothy Pope trying to figure out how to find 5, almost 6 seconds quicker lap time here within the next 19 laps.
So Pope's near the front again, or near the lead, should I say. Well, John Ellis is on tires that he pitted 166. Pope was on 171. Is that going to slow Ellis down enough for Tim Pope? What do y'all think?
That's not going to show itself, I don't think, unless we get a late caution. Then that might make the difference, and I think you're going to see a bunch of guys pit if that is the case. One thing I have to address with you, Adam, is can you really have to classify the paint job of the 257 of Russ Endicott, who's all over the 07 right now. You really have to classify the 257's paint as a throwback because the was it Chico's bail bonds number 257? That's kind of a throwback, isn't it?
Yeah, there was a bunch of kids drinking beer, playing baseball.
The Bad News Bears.
Yeah, that was great. Great movie from the 70s. Walter Matthau.
Little bit of a wiggle there from Jess Vaught. Might have snagged the outside of Jonathan Osborne just a little bit as we got Mike Adamson, Jess Vaught, and Jonathan Osborne all in a fight to try to figure out who's going to take home third here tonight.
Yeah, that may be the battle royale there, the battle for third. Definitely Tim Pope and John Ellis right now are the top of the class, looks like, in this race so far.
Yes, indeed, as, Tim Pope's still trying to reel in John Ellis there. Looks like he is doing it, but is it at a quick enough rate, or is John Ellis, knowing that he's got such a good chunk of lead, he's maybe saving tires just a little bit, maybe trying to save that little extra push to make sure he can get himself down and across that finish line?
Well, here's the thing that Ellis has going for him right now. He's got at least 3 lap trucks in between himself and Pope right now, and he has nobody in front of him, it doesn't look like, at least for the time being. So that's definitely going to help him out. If all things being equal, and we have, we're coming around to 13 to go, 12 to go.
Yeah,
so
12 to go.
I think he's looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, what else is looking good is, Mike Adamson driving very defensively, kind of taking up every single lane of track that he possibly can to prevent Jess Vaught here getting a run. Oh, as Jess Vaught gets loose coming down Thunder Alley back straightaway. What a save. Oh, man, Jess Vaught in that 33. You had to grip that wheel tight, and he was able to corral that thing back under control as he and Osborne almost make contact as they go side by side down across the line.
Boy, that's where it's getting crazy now. These two are fighting it out. More contact.
33 not wanting to give that position up. I don't blame him.
He's trying to make up for a poor week last week. He's got some frustrations leading into this week, and he's really trying to get back up into a podium spot here. And
so is 81 of Jonathan Osborne. He's not giving this thing up either.
I was going to say, if we ever thought we'd see David Pearson and Neil Bonnet fight each other for position, that'd be it right there.
And this is so far the really only battle going on out there on the racing track, as we just wait to watch Tim Pope as he slowly keeps reeling in John Ellis.
Ooh, this is the great battle though between Vaught, Osborne, and Adamson. So
really
this is what you can't really keep your eye out for this thing at this point in the race.
No, sirree, you can absolutely not, as we have 8 laps remaining. The gap for Ellis and Pope, 1.3. The gap between 3rd and 5th, 0.2.
Oh my goodness. John Ellis has just got to be saying to himself, please, Lord, don't let there be a yellow. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, I got the Louisiana English going.
Huge gap he's got behind him here. Oh, the 81 and the 51 contact.
Little bit of contact there as they're still side by side, going to be down, coming across that line. 6 laps to go now. Man, Mike Adamson has been driving the wheels off of that 51 machine here in a very good display of how to defensively drive around this racing track. He is just putting that truck in like the absolute nightmarish spot. If you're sitting behind him trying to figure out a way to pass, he is just perfectly in the way.
Yeah, it's a block, but it's not a block, right? He's just kind of taking up the right amount of space and slowing them down behind him just enough. Tough to get around him at this point.
Yeah, as a little bit of a crossover here for Jess Vaught. He might have made Jonathan Osborne think he was going outside, jammed it back inside, but not quite enough a run there. As here we go up at the front, we got Pope caught up to Ellis. Ellis trying to hang on for the next 4 laps, see if he can't bring home a win here. But man, that's going to be a tough order to make do, as there they go, nose to tail, down and across the line here. Now 3 laps remaining, still Ellis out in front. Pope sizing up his target, just waiting for the right opportune moment. Is this one of those situations where we might see Pope even use that little bit of a bumper nudge, not to necessarily spin Ellis, but to just get him up and out of the line? Because Ellis is now doing the same thing that Adamson was doing. He was just trying to run a line that is just enough in the way here of Tim Pope. But here goes Tim Pope down on that outside as
there's a lot going on.
As Adamson still continues to block. Same thing with Ellis up here at that front. We're going to be coming across the line here. White flags waving. Final lap. No more cautions here tonight. We got 2 races going on here at the same time. And shoot, even Eric Klafka's got a race going on back there for 8th and 9th by the looks of it. But down through Thunder Alley, John Ellis still maintains that lead, throws that truck into the corner, trying to keep Tim Pope from going around on the outside. Here comes Pope down around the outside, but not in time. John Ellis picks up the first win for him of the season. As we're coming down across the line here, Jonathan Osborne was finally able to get around Mike Adamson. Same thing with Jess Vaught. So Mike Adamson, all that hard work, losing it on the final couple of laps here to drop 2 positions into 5th.
He was just driving with that rear view, man. He had so much pressure on him. Jonathan Osborne, what an awesome job. That was so cool, man, to see him push through there.
Mike Adamson did everything he could, but these guys were just racing their tails off. And you can't block the whole track, even at a short track like this one. And
yeah, well,
you couldn't ask for a better finish than that.
You could not. You saw great defensive driving, great aggressive driving, and man, this thing started off a little hairy, but things worked itself out, and we had ourselves a great race. So while you tally up those votes for fan of the race here, Mr. English, I'm going to do our random draw driver here, as we had, excuse me as I get the correct screen pulled up here. We ended up having 20 trucks complete the race. 27 took the grid, which means 7 trucks did not make it, unfortunately, but we'll press this button 3 times here. 1, 2, and 3. So the truck that finished 17th, which is Robert Jordan, is your random draw driver of the day.
All right. And thank you so much to Connie Goodman, who's been commenting all night over there on YouTube for the 81 of Jonathan Osborne. Miss Connie Goodman, you are the super fan of the race. So thank you so much for all your support and watching and commenting and everything. It's been a blast having you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. You are the super fan of the race. It was a close one. It was a close tally, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that it was. Well, as John Ellis continues to, well, not anymore, because there goes the engine.
He blew it up.
It just straight on blew it up, but there's no other way to finish off a race here at Rockingham. Let's start these interviews underway. We'll start off with Jonathan Osborne finishing here in 3rd. Jonathan, you were looking really racy up at that front just about all race long. Talk about how crazy and bumpy this track is, but not only that, but you were fighting 2 good drivers there just to finish here in 3rd between Jess Vaught and Mike Adamson there.
Yeah, that was an incredible race. Like Mr. Turner says, I had to roll the dice down here in North Carolina, not quite Waco, but that was about the best run I've ever had here in Vigilante.
Well, we know you have at least a win under your belt, but this one it really meant a lot to you because this is a tough track. It's really, really bumpy. There's a lot of close quarters. It's not real wide. There's really only one good line to run, and you were the Iron Man out there tonight. You really did last the distance, and you had a bunch of family and friends out there cheering for you out there on the interwebs tonight. Tell me this. This is what I want to ask you about. How much does that help you knowing that you've got all these folks, all this positive energy, all these positive vibes coming your way? Does that really make a difference in a race like this?
Yeah, it's really awesome. My aunt actually won fan of the race, so it's really good to have all the support. I send the link out to everybody I can, so you guys do one hell of a job on the broadcast too.
We appreciate that. We're just watching y'all doing your thing, and you did your thing tonight, and it was awesome to watch. How hard was it navigating those bumps in the corners? We talked about that quite a bit, and then, I'll go into it. What's the Chachi name? Is that the nickname? So go ahead and let us know.
Yeah, well, honestly, the bumps weren't too bad here on the track. It just it was really slick the first couple laps after you get tires coming out of 2. But if you could get the pressures up, it really wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to eat up tires way more than it did, but it was real awesome. And the Chachi name it's been a nickname ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. My nieces and nephews actually didn't know my real name was Jonathan for 10 years. So
Well, that's a cool name. We love it. You have anybody you want to thank? I know you probably do. Shout outs, anything like that before we let you go.
yeah, I'd like to shout out my sponsors, Larry Donahue with Daystar Screens. If you need a solar room in the greater Valley Phoenix metro area in Arizona, give him a call. I don't know if you guys zoom in on my hood. He's got his phone number there. But and Josh Bittner for being my other sponsor, the Vigilante Racing Store. And just everyone who watches, really appreciate it. And most of all, you guys.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations, Jonathan. Welcome back to the podium. It's been a hot minute for you here, but no better place than here at Throwback Week at Rockingham, man. Congratulations, and we look forward to maybe seeing you up here again the rest of the season, huh?
Yeah, thank you very much. It was real nice to have Neil Bonnet's paint scheme run it up front.
Heck yeah, old school, baby.
All right, so as I clicked a wrong button there, but we'll head on up here to Timothy Pope, our second place finisher of the night. Tim, you came all the way from the back, able to fight your way through all that traffic. You caught up to Ellis, just did not quite have enough, but man, talk about a great run here Rockingham was.
Yeah, it was a tough battle there. I didn't know if I was going to run down or not there at the end. I finally caught him and tried to get on the outside a couple times. Just didn't want to stick on that first time I went up there.
Well, the season's half over with. A little bit more, actually. Do you who are the guys you're worried about? Let's put it that way. Who are the guys you're worried about? Coming down the bottom half of the season, and tell us a little bit about your paint as well, if you got some time for us here tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess whoever's in second and third and fourth, because I know they're pretty close. Like Jess and Ellis, and I think Bittner's up there too. Any one of those guys. That's whoever's in the top 3 to 5 there in points. I'm always trying to finish ahead of them. Yeah, the paint. So it was my favorite race car driver, Davey House paint back in the early or late '80s when he was a rookie.
Yeah, I think it was when we first started running that Texaco paint before they went to the Haviland black and red scheme, I believe.
Yeah, I painted last night and actually turned out better than I thought it would.
No, it looked good out there, and I'm sure you're tired of winning all the money in this league. I know you're only terrible second place tonight. Normally you're in first. You're one of those guys always up front, man. We're going to have to start sending out the 1099 on this deal for your taxes. you know, but awesome job as usual. I don't want to get the tax man after you, but you're always in the money, and it's always fun to see you up there. I did love that paint as well. Great job painting that thing.
Yeah, great to see you run, and thanks for not being afraid to show your faith out there and put that great paint out there. Congratulations on P2.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so before we get to our race winner here tonight, we ended up having to do a redraw for random driver of the day, and that ended up going to the 6th place finisher of Josh Bittner. So Josh Bittner finding his way up here into the money, just somehow surviving up 16 spots. Josh, man, it looked like it was an absolute slugfest out there.
Yeah, I was surviving. I don't know how I got away with the 0x, but somehow, some way, here I am finishing 6th place, and it wasn't the greatest finish I could have hoped for, but considering where I started and what I had to work with all race, and I avoided a lot of landmines.
0x at a place like Rockingham? I don't see how you did it. That's pretty amazing. A few y'all did it out there. Jess and looks like Austin Paul and Timothy Pope also came away with a 0x. But yeah, man, talk about the racing surface. We saw how bumpy it was. These things were like bucking Broncos in a couple of the turns. Did that affect y'all's ability to get power down and especially braking down? Because we saw a couple of incidents where it looks like guys couldn't get slowed up and they were locking their brakes up, but with the bumpy surface, it looks like it might have taken some braking power away.
Yeah, I think it really did, and especially like with tire wear and when the race went on with different tire strategies, you saw different guys. If you had old tires on the bottom lane, you were more likely to wash up into somebody, and then have that with alternating strategies. It really factored in. But I think the big thing was kind of like with Dover, we saw last week, which we kind of talked about in the pod a little bit. I think was guys coming off the 2, and there's that bump there, right, and that transition from the banking. And there were guys that were just flat out coming down the banking in 1 or 2 lanes. There was wrecks that were caused by that, people just running out of talent. And I guarantee you, all those guys that had DQs this race, majority of their incidents probably stem from that, or just washing up into people in the like turn one when you carry all that speed. So it was a real challenge, but it was fun.
Well, you made a little bit of money. You didn't get in the podium, but maybe you can pay off like the professor for Peyton, since she didn't do her paper, watching you race there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so she was having fun watching the race. She didn't want to do her paper, so at least she watched you race. You got some money. Pay off the professor with your $5 or whatever it is, and moving on down the line. Congrats, dude. That was a good run by you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I guess that $5 or whatever, that's like what, a half a tank of gas these days.
Yeah, sure. You can go a long way on
that. Not even.
No, 1 gallon, pretty much.
But it was a fun race. I just got to say, you know, a lot of these guys in the league, I think, practiced their butts off, and the guys that ran up front, like, again, congrats to Ellis, Osborne, Pope. Those guys, they bring it every week, and to see like Ellis and Osborne have really great runs like that was really awesome to see.
Well, that it was indeed. Well, Josh, before I let you go, you got any shout outs to put out there to the lands?
Well, absolutely. First and foremost, I want to thank Peyton, I guess, for not doing her paper to watch me finish 6th. Sorry, I couldn't get a better finish tonight, hun. But no, just also Ricky Wittenberg of Keller Williams, Johnson City, Tennessee. He was on the truck for this race, and as always, on my truck in this league. My teammates at Vigilante Omega, those guys had a lot of speed all night long, and I think just the cards didn't fall our way tonight. But we'll be getting at it in ISS, working together, and we'll be looking for brighter days.
And the JD McDuffie paint, you had a lot of people scratching their heads. They were like, "Oh man, I gotta check out who this is now." You know that they're mentioning it, and so good on you for picking somebody who was a good, you know, one of the, as you put it, one of the last big owner drivers. And I love Throwback Night. I thought it was really cool how y'all did it, and thanks so much for all you do for this league and for the podcast as well.
Thank you. And yeah, it's a good thing I didn't go with Tony Stewart, because I was
here, especially in the second half of this thing.
Yeah, guys, that was great.
It's coming. And, you know, ever since you started, this is your first season here at Vigilante. Hence the,
necessarily, but you know, if I catch some breaks, you know, maybe he gets wrecked out at championship if he has a couple bad finishes. Whole lot better than me trying to outrace.
How long have you been on here?
3 months.
Okay, we're done with this guy. Look, I mean, that's amazing. That's really amazing. You're doing awesome, racing clean too. So somebody's helping you. You're learning quickly and super.
that short pitting seemed to kind of, we knew.
That was brutal. Goodweiser putting.
Yeah, there you go, man. Well, concludes the racing action here tonight. And man, that was a pretty good show.
Yeah. I love the throwback scheme. You know, the foot with oh man, where was it? It was another one of these throwback
like a real true marathon, a real NASCAR race where it just the cream racing as well.
And breakthrough win here in Vigilante, one of what is most likely gonna be many. But he was able to just... And Osborne also having a solid run. He really almost never left that top 5. He was always hovering around there all race long, able to pull away with a 3rd place podium finish. You had Jess Vaught there recover for it this week. 4th place finish for that 33 truck of Vaught. You also got that 84. And no surprise, the 07 Jack the Ripper Dixon, your hard charger of the day, up 20 spots to finish here in 7th. And man, it looked like he hit home in 8th place here tonight. Same thing with Eric Klafka, able to walk away here with a 9th. And
1 lap down. Chandler Paul in the 72 Bobby Allison Coke machine, the 2nd truck, 1 lap down. 12th after starting 18th. Justin French, oh man, he wanted so much more tonight. We love the tribute paints out there tonight, and the window and Turner like it because it's Houston Oilers colors. But the 2 of Albert Anderson, America's driver, finishing in 14th. The 28 of George Rincon, Goodweiser, finishing in 15th, up quite a few spots. So pretty good performance out of the 28. The 257, the Chico Bail Bonds truck of Russell Endicott, finishing 3 laps down in 16th place. The 204 of Robert Jordan had a little bit of packet loss there in 8th place, so still up quite a few spots. So good run by the 204. Tonight, that Ford machine ended up way back in 18th spot. Good luck next week, Russ. I'm sure you'll have a better performance next week. The 14 of John Hertzik, 6 laps down, finishing in 19th place. And rounding out your top 20, Dustin Really in the 37 Tide machine. He's usually in, but hey, everybody has their bad weeks, and Dustin had his tonight.
Jeremiah Burke, he's not used to ending up down here, 24th. 15 to Jeffrey Green, 25th. Kelly Cool. The 01 had some issues. He got DQ'd. I think they're 26th. And looks like 211 of Douglas Camp will round it out in the 27th spot.
And that is your final field here from Schemes. In fact, Ricky through one of Keller, Sell Your Home. He can help you out personally if you're in that area or if you're anywhere in the country. He's got contacts all around. So go ahead and get yourself a great. Thank you all, and can't wait to see you guys again here next week. But until then, for Alan English and Adam Turner, I'm Alan Brown. We're signing off.
We gone.
See ya.